Hi guys, welcome back. So I just came across this Would You Rather game online that I'm about to play with you guys, and I thought it was interesting. I'm gonna do it tipsy though. I do have a glass of my favorite red South African wine, jam jar. So y'all can play along with me if y'all want to. It's 100 questions. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through all 100 questions during this game, but let's just go with it, right? Now, y'all can play along, so I'll read the questions out loud. It may be a part 2, part 3 series. Let's see. All right. All right, let's begin. Hi, Anthony. How are you? So, and you guys feel free if you have a would you rather question for me, drop it below. That's only for the people who are tuning in live. So the very first the very first question, let's go. Cheers. Would you rather go into the past and meet your ancestors or go into the future and meet your great-great-grandchildren? He says, let's play. All right. I would say I would rather go into the past and meet my ancestors because I think it's redundant to choose that make the choice of going into the future, meeting grandchildren, great-grandchildren. Like, you're most likely going to meet your great-grandchildren, right, if you live long enough. I guess it depends. I mean, with my age, though, I'm 38. So by the time my kids turn 18, let's say if I have a child in the next year, let's say I have a child about 40, because I am 38, realistically speaking, right? I have a child at 40. I'll be 58 when my child is 18. So it's a likelihood that I could meet my great-grandchildren. What do y'all think? I would rather go into the past and meet my ancestors because there's so many ancestors, yo. There's so many ancestors I would like to meet. I mean, I would like to go way, way back. Like BC time, way back, and meet those ancestors. I think that we all like originated as giants at first. So I would like to see like what they look like. Of course, they're not going to speak this language. Speaking English, they're going to speak a totally different language. I think probably just have higher frequency, higher vibrations. I don't even know if I would be able to. You think like we'll be able to communicate with our ancestors, let's say, who existed? I'm talking about like thousands of years ago, if not millions, right? You can't listen to science because science will try to tell you like, oh, we only been around as humanity for like a couple thousand years. I like, nah, I think we existed way longer than that. So yeah, I imagine like ancestors communicating the same way how we may perceive like aliens, just very fast. You think about like how aliens communicate, just so rapid that you won't be able to discern what the hell they saying. It's a good question, right? How about you, Anthony? What would you choose? Ancestors or meeting your great-great-grandchildren? Oh, great-great. Oh, okay. You say great-great-great. All right. Number 2, would you rather have more time or more money? I don't think I need more time. Time to do what? Like, no matter how much time we have, right, we never have enough time. So, more time to do what? Work more hours? Fuck that. I'd rather have more money, clearly. Would you? So, we're just warming up here. It's going to get pretty toasty. I already got my AC turned on and I'm sipping my jam jar. You want to meet your great-great-grandchildren. Well, I guess I was going to say that's not really meeting the future. But it is meeting the future and meeting their culture, right? Because your great grandchildren, great grandchildren, right, will exist within a certain paradigm, influenced by the time frame in which they are growing up in. So in that sense, yeah, and being able to have a conversation with a person from the future. All right. Would you rather have a rewind button or a pause button? I don't think I need a rewind button. That's the thing about me. Like, I can't just answer the question. Some of these are like, I put thought into it, right? A rewind button. For what? What would be the purpose of a rewind button? But I would love to go back in time for all the nudity in Eden's exactly, Eden's paradise, right? The Garden of Eden. Exactly. But you don't need to go back in time to be able to experience and take in the glory of our natural state. I think that we just have to create a safe place, safe space to do that. You can do that like in these times, right? There are new beaches like all over the U.S. So it's possible, or you can just create your own space in your house and invite people over who respect that. All right. Yeah, no need. I don't think there's a need for a rewind button though. A rewind, I guess, because if you think about rewinding something, right? It's not like you're rewinding that far back. And you think of like a rewind, I just think maybe a rewind button would be for like a couple hours or a couple minutes, not like you're rewinding. How far are you rewinding back? If it's just, in my mind, if you're just rewinding, let's say a couple hours, I don't see a purpose, a need for that. Couple years, really, I don't know. I don't think I really want to go back, right, in my own lifetime necessarily. Like, maybe before my lifetime, yeah, rewind back. But in terms of my own life, for what? Like, people say, oh, if you can go back and change something about yourself or your past or something, you like, no, I don't regret anything, to be honest. I wouldn't change a thing. And the pause button, I think there are certain instances where a pause button may be necessary because time just goes by so quickly, right? I would say not a pause button, but just to stop time completely. So that time doesn't even exist. How about that kind of button? To change the past, though, rewind. If you could change, I don't want to change the past. Rewind to see you again. All right, next question. Would you rather be able to talk with the animals or speak all foreign languages? This is a really good one. And this is hard, yo. But being able to talk with animals kind of will fall under the umbrella of being able to speak all different languages. We think foreign languages because the languages that animals speak is foreign to us. We don't know what the hell they're saying, how they communicate. So I think that's a catch-all, choosing all foreign languages, because that would include the languages that animals speak. Ha ha ha. So I would say all foreign languages. But yeah, it would be cool, pretty cool to be able to communicate with animals. Though I think we already have the ability to be able to do that. No pause, no time to stand still. Why would you feel that you don't have to stand still or you don't need to stand still? I feel like it's not that you're standing still. Life is still progressing. So just because there's a pause button doesn't mean that your life is not progressing, right? Not that you're not moving forward. It's not that you're not moving forward and accomplishing your goals, right? That's not how I interpret a pause button. I interpret it as just time itself. I think it would be a great thing if time did not exist, like a clock. Just get rid of it, right? You know how like in the fall we fall back, we set our clocks back an hour, and in the springtime we jump forward. We lose an hour in the spring. It's like, just, you see how we manipulate time, and we could manipulate time in that way to just completely stop the clock. It doesn't exist. So when you ask a person what time is it, it doesn't matter what time is it, right? You just look outside and see, oh, it's dark, it's nighttime, or or if it's daytime, right? That will be the only reference of time. Amazing. Going on to number 5. Would you rather win the lottery or live twice as long? Twice as long. That's easy for me. I think that's an easy choice. Twice as long. Why? Because that's how they did it back in the day days, right? Where they were living like 300, 400, 500,000 years. I think that'd be so cool just to see the different. But would it be generations though? Like, how much would change if everyone lived to see, let's say, 1,000 years? If that was like the average life expectancy for people, 1,000 years, right? Could you say, like, how many generations would you see? Will it still be the same? The life cycle, would it still be? It wouldn't be the same, right? But no, yeah, you'll be able to see like many generations with that. Talk to the animals because they know God from another perspective. Their senses are multiplied. Exactly. They're not tainted by the things that we as human beings are tainted by. Like, we have so many filters in our brain. Animals don't have those filters. Like, shame. Well, some animals do. Like, you'll see dogs do experience shame, right? They know when they've done something wrong and they feel bad about it, right? Especially when they tuck their tail beneath their legs or between their legs or whatever. Sometimes they hold their head down. So like, dogs do experience shame. They feel bad about their behavior. They know they've done something wrong, or they feel like embarrassed. Like, if you put them like, you call them out for what they do, you put them on Front Street, like, dogs can react to that. That's if they've been conditioned though. But think about when dogs poop, and when they piss, like, they are not ashamed of that. Unless you call them out, you embarrass them, then they might be ashamed to do it in front of other people. But that's natural for them. Yeah, I would rather live twice as long. People talking about the same shit, most of it bull. Twice as long because I'm going to win the lottery anyway. I'm always hitting numbers. What do you mean, people talking about the same shit? Most of it bull. What do you mean by that? Oh, you're saying like if people were able to live like twice as long? Yeah, just being able to see like the evolution of our society, because it's going to change over time. Nothing stays the same. And so living twice as long, twice as long would be, 200 years, because our life expectancy is around, 80 years, I think, in the U.S., 80 to 90 years. That's about roughly 200 years, right? But I would love to live to, 1,000. That would be awesome. Would you feel worse if no one showed up to your wedding or to your funeral? Honestly, I don't care either way, for either one, right? Like, I would rather have a private wedding. I don't want people to show up to my wedding, to be honest. I just want it to be between me and my husband. That's it, okay? Private, completely private. And funeral, I don't want people crying over me. I don't like the way, especially in Western society, in America, people like mourn and they're depressed and it's not bad. Mourning isn't bad, right? You can tell I'm feeling this shit, right? Mourning isn't bad. Mourning someone's passing, but I would rather people like acknowledge and celebrate my life and not be crying over me and worried and stressing themselves out and depressed and all of that, you know. Because I don't do that at other people's funerals. I don't even like going to funerals because I don't like the whole emotionalism and exaggeration of emotions and falling. Like, my family be crazy, yo, at funerals. They be falling out. It's a whole show, right? It's a whole fucking Broadway show. They be falling out, screaming, and run up and down the goddamn on aisles, and it's just crazy. So it's just like, it's so intense where you may be at a baseline level, right? But being around all of this heightened energy of people, or I consider overreacting, that affects you. It has an effect on you, right? I'm just like, I don't want to experience a person's death like that, so to speak, because I don't see it as death. I see it as transition. Yeah. Feeling that Merlot. This is not Merlot. This is Jam Jar. Lovely. Is Jam Jar Merlot? I don't think so. Show you right. Yeah, you got a toast. Where are you tuning in from, Anthony? All right. Moving on to the next one. Yeah, so, yeah, to answer that question, I don't care if people show up to my wedding because I'm not going to invite nobody anyway. And my funeral, I'm not going to invite anyone, right? Because I'm not going to be here to invite anyone to my funeral. Would you rather be without internet for a week or without your phone? Without my phone. Right? Because everything that you can do on your phone, you can do on a laptop or a computer, as long as you have internet. So, don't need your phone for that. Would you rather meet George Washington or the current president? I would probably say George Washington, just so you can get a glimpse. Like, I can get a glimpse into, like, what life was like back then. Right? New Haven, Yale. Where's that? So, George Washington served as president of the United States from 1789 to 1797. Right? So, yeah, that would be awesome to be able to have a conversation with George Washington or anyone from that time period. He had slaves. I don't care. I mean, if you had to choose between George Washington and the current president, you saying you would choose the current president. Yo, this is so funny. So, I was in a treatment team meeting, right, with my team, including psychiatrists, other psychologists, social worker, nurse, treatment team leader, all of that, right? And one of our patients, and they were doing a mental status exam, right? And they asked him, who's the president? And I think he said, Bush at first, and then he said, who the fuck that motherfucker? Trump, right? Then he said Trump, and then at the end we were kind of like discussing, debriefing his mental status and talking about, okay, his strengths and weaknesses based on his responses, and I was like, well, at least he got he knew the president. It's funny because the other psychologist looked at me like, wait, he said the president was Bush. I was like, wait, it's not Bush. So it's not that I'm not like in tune with what's happening in our world, right? And of course I'm oriented to what's happening, to time and place, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know if it's just me, but it seemed like because Bush, I look at Bush and Trump as the same motherfuckers when you think about it. Like, Biden, like, what's the difference, right? So he was like, no, it's Biden. I was like, oh, that's right. I forgot Biden got elected. Hilarious. But anyway, yeah, I don't care about, like, you say George Washington owned slaves. Like, what does that mean? Doesn't mean that you can't learn from someone. You can learn from anybody, even people who own slaves. Um, if anything, that's who you want to talk to. You know, if you are like in tune with your roots, right? Not that our roots began with slavery, but that's still part of our history. You can learn a lot, you know, just getting in the mindset, the mind frame of him as president. Like, wouldn't you want to like gather that kind of information from the source as opposed to like reading a history book? You know, just talk to the source. George Washington would be the source. Oh, you're in Connecticut. Okay. I need some laws changed. I need to talk to Biden. I don't think he has that kind of power, but that's a good perspective, though. I just feel like changing laws is not going to change the condition. We think that somehow changing laws is going to change our reality, but I don't think it really has that much impact. I think we have control of our reality, not what the laws are. But anyway. Moving on. So that was number 8. Number 9. Would you rather lose your vision or your hearing? Hearing, duh. Yo, to lose, I couldn't imagine what it's like not being able to see. That would suck. Like, you can still navigate the world without, let's say, assistance from another human being, right? If you have a loss of hearing, right, you still have your sight. But to lose your sight, you know, they oftentimes need the assistance of another person to guide them, you know, because I've worked with this blind woman, right, and just seeing how much her life was impacted by her her disability, or different ability, shall I say, is, yeah. But at the same time, it's just like her other senses were heightened, but still, I would rather lose my hearing. And I think they say that's the first thing to go as you age anyway. Like, all of us are losing our hearing when you think about it. So, yeah, I would rather lose my hearing. You don't need to hear. Do you really need to hear? No, you can just read lips. You can still read. You can still see. Yeah, I feel like that would not be as disabling, losing your hearing, as it would be to lose your sight. Yeah, hearing. That's the easy one, right? All right, number 10. Would you rather work more hours per day but fewer days, or work fewer hours per day but more days? What kind of question is that? Who would want to work, period? That's no trade-off to me. Working more hours but fewer days. You still busting your ass working long days. That's silly. Or would you rather work fewer hours but more days? No, neither one. To be honest, I don't want to work, period. Okay. Would you rather listen to music from the 70s or music from today? Definitely music from today. And it's funny because I had a conversation with an acquaintance who is like in the music world, and he was questioning my music interests. Amazed that because I'm 38 years old, it's like, oh, you listen to new music? Like, what the fuck kind of question is that? Yes, I stay up to date. Hello. By the way, I wanted to, before I forget, so I want to ask, I don't know who this is on my shirt, right? Now, when I first purchased this and I did a shopping haul video, I asked a question. No one has commented yet, right? I'm like, who is this person? Who is he? Kind of looks like Martin Luther King, but I don't know. And then on the back, right? Who is this person on the back? Help me out, guys. Who is this? Who is it? If I couldn't see you, I don't know what I'd do. I don't think I'd tune in to just your voice. Oh, you would probably tune into my voice. Speaking of my ex-co-worker, colleague, she also was, she's also a psychologist. She, you know, didn't have sight, but she would listen to my videos religiously. All right. She probably still does. I don't know. I gotta check in and see what's up with her. But definitely music from today. Would you rather become someone else or just stay you? Stay me. Just be yourself. I don't want to be nobody else. Right? Because you don't... You don't know what the fuck it's like. Imagine if you had a choice, right? Stay yourself, be you, or be someone else, but you couldn't go back. You couldn't change it. So you just stuck being somebody else. Hell no. That would be miserable, I think. Even my most favorite person, Beyonce. I love me some Beyonce. I like her personality, but I don't want to be her. Hell no. I can't fit those shoes. I don't know what kind of demon she's dealing with. Like, I'm very comfortable with who I am because I've lived with me for 38 years. And even beyond that, you think of from a spiritual sense, right? So no. Definitely don't want that. I don't want her karma. I don't want her pain. I'm happy with my life. I don't need her problems or anyone else's problems. But I can take her money though. But more money, more problems, as they say. The question about years. Would you rather listen to music from the 70s or music from today? That was number 11. Number 12, would you rather become someone else or just stay me? 13, would you rather be Batman or Spider-Man? Batman, right? Because I don't know much about superheroes and all of that. But I think Batman is able to fly. I'd rather want to fly. Both of them have superpowers, though. You would rather be you, but you're tired of your struggle. Well, do something different if you're tired of your struggle. What is your struggle, by the way? What are you struggling with? What is your struggle? I think we all have, like, difficulties in life. But to struggle and be, like, in the same crisis for years and years and years, something is not right. That's not normal. 14, would you rather be stuck on a broken ski lift or in a broken elevator? Neither, but I have been stuck in a broken elevator before when I was studying for my bachelor's at Florida State. And I had to call, like, there's, the emergency button, right? You call and the fire department responds. And I let them know, like, I'm on the fucking elevator. I was in the health building at Florida State. And they thought that shit was hilarious. I think it was a brand new building. I'm like, how the fuck the elevator get stuck on a brand new spanking fucking building, right? I'm in the health building. And I'm talking to them through a little intercom thing. I'm like, I'm on the elevator. Let them know, like, the location of the elevator. And then they responded immediately. I like the fact that they were quick. But when they got there, like, as they were working to get me out of the elevator, I can hear them. And I can somewhat see them through that crack in the elevator. And they were laughing. I'm like, it's not funny. I'm scared. Get me out of here. It's not funny. But they're trying to make light of the situation. This is a crisis for me. This is scary. This is traumatic, okay? And after that, I didn't take elevators for a while, but I overcame that fear. It was just, like, traumatizing for a little while after being stuck on the elevator. For your birthday, would you rather receive cash or gifts? I would rather receive cash because... gifts, right? Maybe that was a Freudian slip. But I think I'd rather receive gifts because it's like cash, they don't put thought into it. Just give you money. Granted, money can be very useful. You can do whatever you want to with it. But at least with gifts, it's like it's that person's signature on the gift. Whatever that gift is. And you hold on to gifts. You don't give it away. You don't sell it. It's a keepsake. So that's how I look at it. It's like memorabilia. And it's kind of something tangible that you can keep and hold for years on end. And you can look back on and be able to attach it to a certain person, place, and time. So that's why I would rather receive a gift from someone. And I still have many gifts that I've collected over the years from exes. Exes have given me, like, teddy bears, purses. I still have them, even though we're not together. It's just like, oh, this is a gift, right? Jewelry. I have jewelry that my ex bought me, and I never wore it. because he gave it to me like as kind of like a makeup type kind of gift, like to try to make amends, and that shit didn't work. I took the gift though. I'm just like, it's a fucking crappy ass goddamn Christmas gift, and I made a video on it, like the worst Christmas gift ever. I think I called it. But yeah, I'm like, nah, bruh, this shit don't fuck. Nah, I don't want this shit. I took it though. I never wore it. It's funny, I never wore that shit. And I think I made a video where I noticed like after, this is years after we broke. We broke up like December 2017, right? And I think that's when he got me the fucking whack ass gift. It was, I think it was a bracelet, necklace, or whatever the fuck it was. But I didn't notice the value of the price. I don't think I paid attention to the price. I'm just like, because I was just like, ugh. You know, like you over somebody, you just over them, right? It's not that like he cheated or nothing. It was just, I just lost attraction to him because the relationship was very toxic and controlling and abusive. So we had to go our separate ways. But yeah, that was his attempt to try to like make amends. And after I moved into this place here in New York last fall, I was going through my things, like decluttering, and I found the gift that he had given me. And then I noticed the price. I was like, oh, no. But I still have it. I keep mostly everything. It's funny. He bought me a Michael Kors purse for Christmas one time. Kept that. Still have it. Don't wear it though. But yeah. Would you rather go to a movie or to dinner alone? Some socks. I would rather. I mean, I do both already though. I don't think I have a preference for which one. Which one would I rather do alone? I don't think I have a preference. What's up, Dwayne? I see you're watching. I don't have a preference for going to a dinner by myself or going to movies, because I do both. I go everywhere by myself. I'm just kind of that kind of person. I don't think I have a preference. Would you rather always say everything on your mind or never speak again? Duh, say everything on my mind. I do that kind of anyway. Kinda. But listen, if I literally said everything on my mind, yeah, I would be in a heck of a lot of trouble. Speaking of which, you say dinner? You would rather go to dinner by yourself? Why? Why not go see a movie by yourself? You don't need to have someone with you to see a movie. You want to go to dinner with me? You're in Connecticut. That's not that far away, huh? But, so today, on my way to work, right? Before I got on the bus, right? Sometimes in New York, there's like a line of people. People standing in line, waiting for the bus driver to either arrive or to just open the doors, right? So you can get on the bus. And so that's what it was. And I was like maybe the fourth person in line, right? So the driver got on the bus, but he closed the doors. And so usually when they do that, when they're already parked at the bus stop, right, and when they get on the bus and close the doors, it means that they're just about to pull up to the actual stop where they pick people up at. So I thought that's what he was about to do. He closed the doors, turned the bus on, but then he inched up, not like where I thought he was going to the actual stop, but he's inched up. So I'm like kind of following him. I'm walking in that direction, right? And then the driver stopped, opened the doors. The people that were like I left behind, because I was thinking that the driver was about to go to the stop, which I would say was probably, I don't know, 10 feet in front of us. He stopped right directly where I was and opened the doors, as if like, okay, he pulled up to where I was and just opened the doors. And then that means the people that were in line, they were like at a distance and they had to kind of catch up. So like I'm already there at the door, right? Now the driver is opening the door. As he opened the door, this big fucking husky ass man that was in line was like, no, excuse me, miss. Trying to tell me like, what do you think you're doing? And he get on the bus. And I'm like, hold on. First of all, it's too early in the morning for this shit. And you got the right one, baby. You got the right one. Like, and this is something, I don't know if I need to work on this. But I feel like if somebody get bad, I'm going to like snap back. Usually. Unless I see like they visibly are like psychotic or something. Or like, severely mentally ill, right? And you have those kind of people too. Living in Los Angeles, I've encountered that here in New York. So I'll have more grace with those kind of people usually, right? Because I'm like, okay, they're already going through a lot. I'm not about to argue with a homeless person, like kind of thing like that, right? Or a person that's like psychotic. But for a person, like everybody getting on the bus, everybody going to work. Ain't nobody getting on that bus that just hanging around not doing shit at that time of morning, right? This is today, this morning. So I'm like, we all working people. We all got brains, right? Like, I snapped. I was like, hold up. It is not that serious. I got on the bus after him. I'm like, bro, it's not that serious. He was like, oh, yes, it is. You see this long line of people here. And he gonna try to get loud. No, you're not gonna get loud with me. That's what you're not gonna do. Okay? So, I stepped on the bus behind him. But I had to pause for a second, right? Before I put my card in the machine. And the driver sitting there like, he didn't even say shit. Yeah, you better not say, like, listen, leave this between me and him. Because he was the first person on the bus. And I'm behind him. I let him go. I'm getting all loud. Telling me, oh, it's a line of people. No, don't try to bring them into it. I said, I was in the line too, right behind you. And nobody trying to get in front of you. You on the bus. And by this time, he's sitting down. And I sat down. He's still talking, like looking back. Don't be looking back at me with the ugly ass face. Don't do that, okay? I'm like, you sitting down. He's like, you gonna look at me, somebody, oh, you still talking, huh? No, you still talking. I have a fucking mouth. I can talk. You still talking. I'm like, why are you bitching? Like, don't do it. I am not the fucking one. Why the fuck you bitching, yo? Like, we can go there. I completely, like, forgot I was on my way to work. Like, I'm like, okay. Then it dawned on me. I'm like, damn. I'm wilding the fuck out. I don't care, though. She's like, no, we're not going to do that, okay? Then his ass shut up. I got the last fucking word. I'm like, yo, if you want to run it, you can run it. You know what I'm saying? But that I've had, like, it doesn't happen on a regular basis. But this is the thing. Like, I consider myself to be very professional, be the bigger person, right? But there's still a part of me. Yo, I'm from the fucking hood. People don't get it, though. Some people just don't get it, right? It's just like a culture. It's a culture where you just don't let people mistreat you, run over you for many different reasons, right? Especially when there's an audience, too, right? Because then people look at you like you soft, and then they usually kind of welcomes, like, bullying kind of behavior from other people. It's like, no, you're not going to, your life can be fucking in danger. You just sit there and don't say nothing and do nothing, right? I've learned this. Like, come on. Growing up in the hood, going to an all-black elementary school, middle school, high school, in a very high-crime neighborhood. Yo, my fucking middle school had goddamn metal detectors. It's just, no, you have to stand your ground. I'm from Florida. You stand your ground. You don't let nobody disrespect you and tell you any kind of way. And you let them know. It's just like an energy recognize energy, right? And so his energy recognized my energy. And this is not just him. Other people I've had encounters with, they recognize your energy and they're like, okay, your energy master is a bit stronger. It's like, no, you're not gonna, and then they fall back because I'm gonna let you feel my energy. You will feel my fucking energy. That shit happened. This was years ago when I first moved to New York, and we was in line at this at the post office. I don't even know what the fuck the altercation was about. I just know motherfucking Hispanic lady gonna try to get bad, like. Hold on. Listen, we can scrap. We can throw down, baby. I got some hands for your ass. I don't think you want none of this right here. Same thing happened at a goddamn I'm gonna get back to this show, but I have to say this. It's funny though. Same thing happened when this was when I was living in the Bronx, and I was refilling my card, right, at the station, in the MTA, at the booth, right, with the worker there. And this lady got mad because she was like, she didn't even say she was in line. So I went right up there, gave him my money, he put the money on my card. She jumping all mad, and I'm like, but you weren't even there. You weren't even, you weren't, like, what the fuck? I got there before you did, and you mad? So she get all like in her feelings, like, oh, you feeling froggy, you can jump. I was like, no, but bitch, you jump. You jump. I promise you I will wear on your ass. I ain't been in a fight in a long time. But anyway, I'm not that really kind of person. I don't like to fight. And I'm like professional school girl. But I don't think you want these hands, yo. I'm just saying though. I'm just saying. You know, I like, yo, I'm a person, I can take pain. Grew up getting fucking ass whippings by my own goddamn mama, though. So I have a high fucking pain tolerance. You don't want this? This ain't what you want. But anyway, that was on the question, would you rather say everything on your mind or never speak again? Yo, I already speak my mind, though. Even at work, even in my, like, with my supervisor in my meetings, yo, I be speaking my mind, but I'm very, like, calculated with that shit. Sometimes it just comes out. I be like, damn, I be surprised at myself, like, damn, did I say that? Shit. Be fucking wildin' out, you feel me? You say, what hood? I don't rep no hood. That's ignorant to rep any hood. Like, oh, what set you from? That's ignorant. I'm just saying, from the goddamn hood, nigga. Everybody from the goddamn hood. Think about it. The hood is all over. If you was just raised in a certain culture, that's the goddamn hood. You know, don't play that shit. The hell? People just be like, they be, you know, you people will try you sometimes. But like I said, I don't stoop down like that every time. Because there have been times I'm just, motherfucker ain't worth. I ain't giving this person my energy. But then sometimes, there's some times where I'm like, oh, we got time today. But anyways, would you rather make a phone call or send a text? Make a phone call. Definitely. Would you rather read an awesome book or watch a good movie? That's a hard one. That's a hard one. Granted, there are a lot of good books out, but I would have to say watch a good movie. You know? Reading just takes a lot of your attention. It does. It requires a lot, like focused attention, right, for a sustained period of time. And so does watching a movie too. That's why the shit gotta be good, you know? There are movies I paid for, I went to sleep completely. Like Black Panther. Went the fuck to sleep in that shit. That was boring to me. I didn't really get it. And then I think I was taken out of it because of like I feel like it was poorly written. And it had too much CGI. I did a whole review on Black Panther. I'm not about to do that here, but yeah, I'm always up for a good movie or a really good book. Would you rather be the most popular person at work or school or the smartest? I'm both, baby. I'm both. Yeah, I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. But I'm from all over. I lived in Atlanta, Georgia, East Atlanta. I've lived in LA, obviously, Hollywood, and South Central. So-called, I didn't even know it was the 60s. This is the thing. It's like when you kind of used to a certain culture, you don't, it's just natural to you. I didn't know that I was in the so-called 60s neighborhood. I literally lived in the 60s, right? Literally. Like, my street number was in the 60s in South LA, but it's like I didn't know. You know, it was like kind of ignorance or just a naivety to what it was until someone told me. Yeah, I think my landlord, who I was renting the house from, told me like, "Oh yeah, this is a Crip neighborhood," and I'm just like, "Man, don't fuck with me." Gangbangers don't fuck with people who really not a part of that life like that. I ain't no gangbanger, you know. I have too much intellect to be a gangbanger. But I have worked with them though. I worked with them at the prison. Um, and I remember, like I said, walking down Western Avenue. Yo, that's the whole stroll. And I took public transportation. Walking down the street, motherfucker tried to pick me up. I'm like, I'm swinging that way, bruh. Nah, 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 nah. Nah, nah, nah. But, alright. Yeah, I tend to find myself being the smartest person in my group and the most popular. I don't know why though. Sometimes I get over the attention. Like even like in my unit at the hospital where I work, I just started and like all eyes are on me. I mean, I get it. I'm the new person, so it makes sense. But you can feel that how the dynamic is shifting and how you influence a certain dynamic, right? Some people are just great like that. And I tend to like, yo, I walk in the room, you're gonna feel when I walk in that motherfucker. Like I will change the energy. And of course, I'm beautiful, I'm attractive, right? So that attracts people to you if you're physically attractive and you're an interesting person. So, yeah, I get that a lot. But, yeah, it can be kind of overwhelming, too. It's getting so much attention. Would you rather put a stop to war or end world hunger? I would say world hunger is war. It's a byproduct of war when you think about it. So they kind of go hand in hand. World hunger is war. All right. Would you rather spend the night in a luxury hotel room or camping surrounded by beautiful scenery? Camping, because I stayed in like number of hotels, y'all. Luxury hotels. So that's like played out. I think I would rather go camping because I've never been camping before. You say they'll rob your ass though. Try to what? Who would rob me? Probably robbing my motherfucking ass. Rob who? I'm fighting back, yo. Think about me, like I have a fighter spirit, I think. I have a warrior spirit in me. Like I don't know how I come off like on camera. Maybe because I look like really soft. I look beautiful. You know. I look inviting, right? But I think it's different in person. I was trying to read these comments are kind of weird how they work. I'd rather write a book than read a book. Yeah, me too. Yeah, because people think like, oh, well, reading is fundamental and, you read, you expand your knowledge. It's just like, yeah, when you think about what is reading, right? And what is books? Like, what is knowledge? It's like, it's just someone else's library of information, right, that they've collected. Not to undermine their library of information that they're sharing with you, whether through a story, a fictional story, or just and sharing with you what they know. I feel like we all are libraries. We all have knowledge, and what they call it, autodidactic. We can receive information from the universe, like be self-taught in a sense. We all have ability to know, right? To know without reading. Reading is fundamental, right? Because you get to, you expand your mind, but it's not that your mind is limited just because you don't read. Think of it that way. I'm not saying that one should not read, though. I'm just saying there's an argument for either side. Would you rather explore space or the ocean? Space. Yeah, definitely space. I was trying to scroll up because But I think I missed it, y'all. Hold on. My sister soldier came out. Okay. Baby. He sat his ass down right there. He ain't say nothing. He ain't do nothing. Like, okay, yeah. I get the last word. Yeah. He would have ran up. Shit, I don't know. I can't tell you what I'll do. Like, I move, like, my instincts sometimes drive me. I think it's just people being a person. I was, this is when I was living in Hollywood, California. And I was working at this clinical site in the valley, which was a good distance from where I lived in Hollywood, right? It's a good travel distance, like on public transportation. And it was the summertime. It was hot, you know. So I had made it back to Hollywood from the valley, from my clinical site. And I was walking from the train station. I had stopped, I think, at Popeyes to get some food, right? And I'm crossing the street across Hollywood Boulevard, leaving Popeyes. And I had the right of way. I'm a pedestrian. I had the right of way. Not just because I'm a pedestrian, but because where the car was at, like the car that was approaching me, it was a stop sign there. But he did not come to a complete stop. You know how people like roll and they kind of roll to a stop, but some really don't stop. They just keep rolling. He had no regard for me as a pedestrian, right? This was like happening instinctually, y'all. Instinctively, I don't know where I got this strength from, but it happens. It just comes out, yo. It's a lot. Like, I'll be afraid of people. People like, oh, be careful when you go out in the city. Be careful. People telling me be careful. I find that statement to be very funny. So I'm like, no, motherfuckers gotta be careful of me, okay? I'm just saying, though. So I fucking scared my own self. This motherfucker ain't come to a complete stop, and it was like his car came within like a hair of me. A hair, in a sense, like, I would say he touched me. It's like he didn't hit me with his car, but it was just like a hair, right? And yo, out of nowhere, I like punched his windshield 3 times. I didn't even know I had punched it like that, right? It just kind of happened. Hold on, Kendra going live today? It's Thursday. I thought she go live on Fridays and Saturdays. I gotta end this. Watch my Kendra. Okay. So yeah, I punched his windshield, yo, and I shattered that shit. And that's what made me stop, right? I probably would have kept punching it, but then I realized, like, oh shit, I done broke this motherfucker windshield. And this motherfucker, he parked his car there. He got out the car, he jumped out. It was a tall, fucking, big ass, goddamn giant white man, yo. Way bigger than my ass, tall and shit. Jumped out, like, came up to me, like, ran up on me and shit, right? So I ran, this is like instinct. I ran into the store. So that, okay, I got like witnesses or some kind of form of protection. Like, listen, y'all got my back. Like, I was like, stop. I was like, no. Yo, this motherfucker came out of my ass. So I ran in the store. And then, thankfully, the store owner was just telling the man, like, come on, don't do it. Leave her alone. He was, like, yelling at me. Like, the driver was, like, yelling, like, come on, you broke my windshield. I'm like, motherfucker, you goddamn hit me. Or you almost hit me, I would say. Like, you didn't stop. Like, what the fuck? That was just reflex, yo. That's just reflex. I have no control over that. But he can get his goddamn windshield fixed. But afterwards, it was just like, wow. I called my boyfriend at the time. And I was like, yo, I was so fucking like, I was like really kind of nervy and shit. And I was like, yo, I just broke this man's windshield. He was like, why you ain't called me? I was like, everything happened so fast. It just happened. It literally just happened. I'm walking home now, which I was only, like a 5-minute walk away from my apartment. He was like, you should have called me. He got mad and shit. He wanted to go. I'm like, no, it's like, I'm good, yo. Like, I'm good. But I'm like, damn. I was like, yo, I broke this motherfucker windshield. But come on, you motherfucker got money. Yo, if you live in LA, your ass got goddamn money anyways. Worrying about goddamn motherfucker. How about me? Am I okay? You know what I'm saying? I just feel like don't do that, yo. Just please don't do that. Like, I'm not the one. Don't do that shit. Don't fuck with me, okay? I'm not the goddamn one. But people find that out, like, yo. But listen, I'm not a violent person. That shit surprised me though, how I fucking like, it was just, I didn't even think. It was just like initial reaction. Like, I think what anybody would do. You probably would do the same thing. You walk across the street and sound like a car acting like, it's not like, oh, he didn't see me, right? Because accidents happen, right? Oh, motherfucker don't see you or something like that. But no, he like deliberately like an asshole. You have those kind of people. You like walking across the street and like asshole, like, oh, they don't want to stop. Like, oh, you better move out the way or I'm gonna hit your ass. And I'm like, okay, you hit me, like. I will fucking black your motherfucking eye. I will break your jaw. Like, yo, don't do that shit. But anyway, I would definitely rather explore space. I thought about that, yo. Going to outer space, going to a whole different dimension. That shit would be amazing. But then you gotta prepare not to come back, right? It's just like, all right, you kind of done everything you want to do, and you're just like, all right, this is the last thing on earth to do, on my bucket list to do, right? And you decide to fucking get your little space suit on and shit. That's they say like, yo, everything you do where on land where there's gravity is just totally different, right? Eating and shit and all that shit. Like, I don't know. They have to come up with a better way. Would you rather go deep sea diving or bungee jumping? Bungee jumping. I ain't really big on swimming like that or diving in water and shit. Nah. Would you rather be a kid your whole life or an adult your whole life? I would rather be a kid. You say people hit and run. They hit and run in fucking New York City. They fucking hit and run in New York City too. So you can't definitely play with motherfuckers here. Because they would hit your ass. That happened to a friend I met. I told a story about this. I got a story for everything. Story for days. But he's from the Ivory Coast. And we had went on a date. He flew me out from LA to New York. Didn't tell me though he had a fucking injury. Come to find out, like, he had an injury. Though it wasn't visible, right? So he was like getting around ambulatory like the average person. But then when it came to the sex, like, this motherfucker, I think his back got knocked out. That's what it was. And then he was just in the bed. Wanted to be in the bed. Like, yo, you invited me. I'm your guest. And you fucking in the bed. But that happened to him when he first moved here. He didn't know the fucking culture in New York City. Yo, motherfuckers don't give a damn. They will hit your ass and keep going. You definitely got to move your ass out the goddamn way. But that happened to him. He didn't know. He thought like, oh, pedestrian friendly. Hit his ass. Kept going. And he still has anger towards the person who did it. I'm like, yo, that's a whole lawsuit right there. It's a whole fucking lawsuit. But I definitely would rather be a kid my whole life or an adult. Being an adult, no. I did what I want as a kid anyway, so it's not like some people say, oh, I can't wait to grow up and be an adult because you get to do what you want. That's why usually people rush their childhood to become adults to do what they want. I did what I wanted to do as a kid anyway, though. Would you rather go on a cruise with friends or with your spouse? By myself. You say bungee jump? Yeah. Do I know martial arts? That's silly. I dated this guy who was into martial arts, right? Like, organized, kind of defense training and fighting. I'm like, I thought that shit was a joke. He called himself trying to teach it to me, and I didn't respond well to him. I'm just like, I think it turned him off, because he was really like a fanatic, like a martial arts fanatic, and I'm just like, I will beat your ass, okay? He was like, oh, come on. Like, he was like trying to pretend like, oh, you want to teach me some moves and shit like that. Like, I will beat your ass with those martial arts, okay? Because it's really in the mind, yo. Yo, you can do anything when it comes to the mind. And I get it, like that's part of martial arts training is the mind. I see it look like somebody trying to come on. I would add you on, but the last person that had requested to be on my live, I tried to add them on and it fucked up the sound in my live, yo. So I'm kind of skeptical in doing that. But yeah, it's definitely all in the mind. You can get a motherfucking mind, you can beat their ass. For real. Without even putting hands on their motherfucking ass. You already won. Yeah, I'd rather go on a cruise by myself. But if I had to choose between friends or my spouse. I'm one of those kind of people where, like, okay, let's say I have friends, right? And then I fall in love. I put my relationship over my friendships. I'm one of those. Would you rather lose your keys or your cell phone? My dang on cell phone. Because your cell phone is always locked. You can always get a new cell phone and transfer. You lose your damn keys. Granted, you can get a new set of keys. Yeah. But, and you think of the cost of a new set of keys, though, depending on what the fuck is on those key rings. Like, you got the work keys on there. You got your house. Nah, that's too much. Nah. Would you rather eat a meal of cow tongue or octopus? Octopus. I'm not eating fucking tongue. I think I already ate octopus. Isn't squid octopus? Yeah. You say cell phone and spouse. I miss the youth of my younger years, but I love being grown. Did you answer my other question about why is it a struggle for you? You say that you don't want to struggle anymore. Don't like the thought of drowning or getting ate by sharks. Yeah. Would you rather have X-ray vision or magnified hearing? Why do you need X-ray vision? I don't think I want X-ray vision. Magnified hearing, I will go with that. Magnified hearing. Being able to hear like thousands of miles away. I don't know, that might be too much. Too many sounds. That would definitely cause confusion, I think. Like mental confusion. You say X-ray vision. Your comments show up late. Yeah, I think there's like I don't know, how long is it delay? Maybe 20 seconds, 20, 30 seconds from when I say it and when you guys hear it. You would rather have X-ray vision? Why? What are you going to do with X-ray vision? What do you need to see? Would you rather work in a group or work alone? Work alone. But I know how to work well in a group, though. I've adapted pretty well to working in groups, but I can get the job done by myself. Would you rather be stuck on an island alone or with someone who talks incessantly? Alone! Would you rather be too hot or too cold? I would rather be too cold. I like the cold, actually. The heat? Nah. If it's too hot, you can die from that. I mean, you can die if it's like extremely cold. But when they say too cold, I'm thinking of just like if it's in the 30s and it's very cold. I can take that versus like 100 some. I can take both extremes, but I think I would rather the cold. When you're old, would you rather die before or after your spouse? After. But then you die before, then you get, you become the beneficiary, right? Get that money! Would you rather have a, not that you really need that, though, that's silly. Would you rather have a cook or a maid? A maid, because a maid can cook. You got 2 for 1 deal, right? Would you rather be the youngest or the oldest sibling? So I am the youngest sibling. I have 5 sisters and 2 brothers. I was trying to see how long I've been alive. 1 hour. Say after. But if I had a choice, yeah, I would rather still be the youngest. Older siblings, they just don't get enough attention. They have a lot more responsibility. And like being the oldest, you're the first child. Parents, you're the first child, you know your parents don't know what the fuck they doing with your ass, you know. So you become like the experiment child. They make a lot of mistakes on your ass and raising you. But by the time they have like their second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, it's like they got it down pat. So yeah, I think it's much better being the youngest. Would you rather get rich? Yo, why the fuck both of my feet are cramping? I'm about to end this video. Yo, if I fall back, that will be fucking scary, yo. If I fucking fall back, but these bar stools are pretty stable. You have to like, I don't know, the way this is made, yeah, you have to really fucking make a really crazy move. Alright, would you rather get rich through hard work or through winning the lottery? What kind of question is that? You're laughing? You're the oldest already? Yeah. But if you had a choice, would you rather stay the oldest child or be the youngest? But you know, birth order does impact the way you are as a person, right? It impacts how you relate to other people. You can tell when people are the baby in their family, right? How they relate to other people. You can tell the oldest child. Rather get rich through hard work or through winning the lottery? The lottery. Duh. Would you rather have a 10-hour dinner with a headstrong politician from an opposing party or attend a 10-hour concert for a music group you detest? I would go with the politician. Even if I oppose their political beliefs, I still feel like that would be an interesting conversation. You can learn a lot, but going to a 10-hour concert from a group that you don't like, can you imagine? That shit would be boring as hell, yo. 10 hours? That's torture. Would you rather be an Olympic gold medalist or a Nobel Peace Prize winner? Yeah. Would you rather have a desk job or an outdoor job? Outdoor. But I don't know. It depends on what the hell will I be doing outside. Not no construction. Not no hard labor work. Not that kind of job. Would you rather live at the top of a tall NYC apartment building or at the top of a mountain? A mountain. It's interesting they have this question here because these are things that you can have. Some of these questions like are very much in our control, meaning you can change your reality and really be able to make a choice between these two. So I've made a choice to make New York City my home, and I have a vision to purchase a brownstone in Brooklyn. That's always been like my dream. I want a brownstone in Brooklyn or Harlem, but I think Brooklyn better. And also purchase a condo in a high-rise in Manhattan. But I also have a dream to live in the tropics, in the mountains. So, you can do all of the above. Would you rather have Rambo or the Terminator on your side? I don't know. Would you rather be proposed to in private or in front of family and friends? Not family and friends, but in public. Hell, fuck yeah. Even though I probably would be embarrassed though if it was in public in front of strangers, like out of nowhere, like you on one knee. Get your ass up, yo. What the fuck is you doing on your one knee? Get up. Don't do this. It's embarrassing. I'm one of those kind of people. But yeah, family and friends. I don't need my family and friends to see that. Would you rather have to sew all your clothes or grow your own food? Hell no, not sewing. Sewing is, grow food? Yeah, I think I would choose grow my own food. Which that's something that we need to be doing anyway. Learn how to grow our own food. They said you reach a limit on your comments. No, they didn't. They were just probably putting you in timeout. I didn't touch anything. You see my hands right here. You'd rather grow your own food. I never knew there was a limit to commenting. Maybe because they take it as like spam. That's unheard of. I mean, I would add you, but I think it would definitely mess up the sound. And I don't know if it's going to work. It did work before because I added, like this was like years ago when I was in LA. I went live and added my best friend. But then recently someone requested to go live. And I clicked the add button and it was just like saying adding, but it never added. And so then when I went back to replay the video, that part when I tried to add him and thereafter, the volume was very much lower. Kind of fucked up the sound. You want to buy me a brownstone? Okay. Yeah, the brownstones now go for like between 1 to 3 million is the one that I've been looking at. Have like anywhere from 6 to like 8 bedrooms. And I noticed they usually have more bathrooms than bedrooms. That's kind of odd. Like, why would you need more bathrooms than bedrooms? It should be like equal, right? Would you rather hear the good news or the bad news first? Bad news. Get it out the way. And on a positive note. Would you rather be your own boss or work for some... Duh, be your own boss. I don't know. Who likes answering to anyone? I know I don't. Okay. That is not the goal. Okay. I have a job now. I do work at a hospital, but that's just kind of for licensure. But sometimes jobs be having really good benefits though, so it could be worth it. You gotta weigh the pros and cons. If the pros outweigh the cons, then okay, it's worth it. Would you rather have nosy neighbors or noisy neighbors? Nosy. I don't care about people being in my business. Like, I feel like that's a given anyway. I mean, I live in New York City. I live in Manhattan, and you know, people be looking like when they walk by, they look in you can see through my place. Definitely looking in the window. I don't care about that. I'm kind of an exhibitionist anyway, so I get off on, you know, people watching, you know. So I don't mind that, but noisy, hell, fuck no. I hear like any kind of like disturbance. I be yelling at my neighbors in here, like, yo, sit your ass down. It don't happen like regularly, like granted, it doesn't. But when I do hear it or knocking, like, yo, what the fuck is y'all doing? I be yelling at my fucking neighbors, y'all. I don't care. Because what you're not going to do is disturb me. You're not. Right? Would you rather be on a survival reality show or dating game show? Survival reality, I feel like we already, life is already hard enough. You don't need to be in a game where you're trying to fucking survive, but dating game show sounds really fun. Would you rather, I'm going to go to 50, so this next one is number 48, and I'm going to end the video. Nosy, they will look after the house while I'm gone. I like your perspective. I like that. You'd rather be your own boss. Missed a few questions, don't worry. So, if you guys notice, I record my videos live here on Facebook, right? On my Facebook fan page. And then after the video is over, I download every single one that I record live here and I upload it to YouTube. I premiere it actually on YouTube. And during all of my live premieres on YouTube, I'm there. I'm watching it with you guys. So feel free to join. Number 48. Would you rather be too busy or be bored? Both can be fine. But boredom can lead to depression, y'all. If you're too bored. It's like, and on the flip side of that, like, let's say if you're bored, if you're lacking motivation, it's like, I think that's kind of what boredom is. It's just lacking motivation. Or lacking interest. It's like the other side of boredom. So I think I would rather be too busy. But then it's okay sometimes to have a lot of free time and you're just like, I'm bored. That's a good space to be in too. Would you rather watch the big game at home or live at the stadium? If I'm interested in the game and the teams playing and I had a choice, I think I would rather watch it live. But I'm not really a sports fanatic like that, so I can watch it at home. Doesn't really matter. I don't know. Depends on the weather too. Like, who the fuck want to be freezing out there watching people throw a goddamn leather ball? Hell, fuck, not me. But if it's a basketball game, it's inside. That's okay. The last one, and I'll probably come back and do a part 2 tomorrow. Number 50. Like how Beyonce has a beehive. Do you have a name for your fans? No, I don't, but maybe you guys can help me come up with one. I guess because I never really I never really been too deep into this stuff. Like, I do this for fun. It's for myself. Like, this is my anti-drug. This is like a hobby. You know, granted, I am monetized, so I get, little checks from Google here and there, from YouTube, but that's not the reason why I'm doing it. Some people are like really like deep into this shit, right? They got a whole name for their fan base and they make this like their sole source of income. You're back! The Leeches? No, I don't think that's a good name. That's definitely not a good name. People misspell my name too. L-double-E. I'm just like, no, I'm not a leech. Right? Not a bloodsucker. Though I can be. I can be a vampire. I'd rather be a vampire than be called a leech. I don't know. Not the leeches though. I like to call you guys and girls. I used to do that like at my other clinical site, and my colleague would be like, oh, that can be considered offensive. You're calling grown people guys and girls. So what? Y'all are guys and girls, okay? Anyway, would you rather spend the day with your favorite athlete or your favorite movie star? Yeah, I'm not really big on sports, so it'll definitely be my favorite movie star. Oh, yeah. And who is one of my favorite movie stars? I like Denzel. I have a lot, but I would say Denzel, yo. Hell, fuck yeah. Who else? I've met quite a bit movie stars, though. What's the guy that played Antoine Fisher? I met him. This is out in LA. I used to work for Tyler Perry Studios. I met Tyler Perry. So I've already been in that world, so it's not like a big to do to meet celebrities, because I met a good share of them and been around them. buy us a brownstone, but we gonna have to fill up some of those empty 6 to 8 rooms with some baby. Yo, I gotta see, who are you? Who is this? Anthony. This was fun. When is the next nature walk? Well, I'm glad that you guys are engaged instead of just looking, because this is how we can build connection. That's what it's all about, right? Building connection, and so that I can make content that you guys like. Otherwise, I'm just going to make content that I find to be fun and entertaining. My next nature walk probably will be this weekend, since you asked. I'll do it just for you. But this is the thing, like, everyone's schedule is different, right? So, you know, I'm off on the weekends. I don't know. I'll probably do it, yeah, depending on what the weather is like. Maybe Saturday. Take you guys. But what neighborhood should I do a nature walk in? Because I live in Manhattan, obviously. So Central Park is like my backyard. I go there frequently. It's just like a couple blocks away. Y'all already been through Central Park with me. Where else in New York should I go? They have a lot of parks here, though. Is it chopping up? I saw that on my way home from work. I was on the train. I was riding on the train, checking my email, and I saw that you completed the form. Go to Far Rockaway. Yeah, I gotta check it out. Far Rockaway is in Brooklyn, right? All right, where in Far Rockaway should I go? No place is off limits for me. I actually broke up with this fake ass Black Panther. I call him fake because, like, I like my men alpha and fearless, because I'm fearless. I can't have more like courage and bravery than you, right? And so he's like, oh, there's certain neighborhoods I don't go into, and I forget what was the neighborhood he said in Brooklyn. What is the neighborhood in Brooklyn? Like, I'm pretty sure they have like several. But it was just like, oh, it's like a high crime. Where is that at? What is it called? I forget. But he said, I don't go there. I don't go certain other place. I'm like, I think I've been in the neighborhood that he said. So I'm just like, I just feel like if you have a good spirit, right, you should be good anywhere you go. Because people, like, we're just people. And these neighborhoods are occupied predominantly by black people, melanated. And you are a Black Panther, but you're scared of your own people. You're scared to go in the projects or in the hood. How can you be a leader, but you are afraid? Something is wrong with that. You should not have that mentality, but you can walk through the Upper East Side with no fear. You don't fear the white man, though he has money, but you're afraid of your own. So I was turned off by that. That and other things, too. I talked about this in a whole separate video. Fake ass. I called it fake ass Black Panther. I was on my rant right then. I was just like, yo, motherfucker, weak. And we had got into it. I had let him know how I felt. And, you know, he invited me to his place. He wanted very badly to come see my space and to spend time in my arena, right? And I'm like, hell, fuck no. He tried to play it like, oh well, like as if he had like some kind of position of power and authority, like, oh, it's as if like his circle, like he was connected to like people like of power, and like, oh, you have to kind of go through an initiation to be around. Yeah, listen, I can be very, like, I can have, like, you know, very intelligible conversations, but at the same time, it's a part of me. I can be, like, I can be hood, I can be ratchet. It comes out sometimes, though. And, I was like, man, fuck them people. Fuck you and all them motherfuckers, okay? I don't want to meet none of them. You're right? He had, like, these weird beliefs, and I get it. It's part of a certain culture. He's like, yeah, my wife, whoever I marry or have kids by, like, they have to be approved by the elders. And even when you have the baby, the women look at the baby and they gotta inspect and like to make sure it's yours. I'm like, what? Bitch, don't motherfucking try me. First of all, ain't nobody motherfucking inspecting nothing over here. I don't need nobody's approval, okay? I don't like shit like that. Like, I like men who have a mind of their own. You don't need somebody else's approval, you know what I'm saying, to make decisions on what you want to do with your life. Make your own decisions. And he's like, oh yeah, and I can tell you how to get more in tune, like, with your African culture, and I got connections to these people and that, like, saying like he know like really important people in Africa, like dignitaries and within the black community here in the U.S. And he's just like, oh yeah. But then he saw, like, because I'm just my own mind. I'm a very, like, I have a very strong personality, even more so in person than online. This is kind of maybe watered down. And so he's like we having disagreements, of course, because I have my own mind. He's like, oh well, I don't know, I have to be careful if I bring you around my people, because they ain't gonna like you. And then they probably, like, that's trying to say like, oh, they gonna check me. I'm like, them motherfuckers ain't gonna do shit. We can go there right. Let's go over there right now. What the heck they gonna do to me? They're not gonna do nothing. Who are they? Like, the way he was talking, as if like he's a part of some gang, but it's not like a gang. It's just like the way they behave. I guess it's just like you gotta go through certain people, and they gonna like be, I guess, G. Like, nigga, okay. I thought he was weak. Gonna be like, oh, I don't go in certain neighborhoods. Child, boo. Anyways. And then he was Jazzy Bells. Not the Spanish guy. He was a fucking punk too, though. That Puerto Rican guy I dated. Yeah, that was this year. The Black Panther dude, the fake Black Panther, I dated him this year too. I think it was like January, the beginning of this year. Yeah, the Puerto Rican guy was nervous and shit around me, just scared. And I was like, why are you shaking, sweating and shit? But I guess it's true. Some men are intimidated. They be intimidated. I'm like, why are you scared? Can't date men. I can't date you if you're afraid of me, right? And I get it, you might be nervous. It's the first date, but if I'm not nervous, I feel like I should be nervous. I don't know you. I'm a female, right? I don't have feminine energy. You're the man. He's from New York. I'm not even from New York. You're born and raised, right? Like, what the fuck? But you're afraid of me? Yeah, that shit wasn't gonna work. I mean, we spent time, like, he invited me to his place. He cooked, the Puerto Rican guy, whatever. But I just ain't like that nervous energy. Maybe he had anxiety real bad, That ain't my problem. And we went through Harlem, taking them in my world and stuff. I live on Upper East Side, but Harlem is like right there. And so we went to a restaurant in Harlem, and like walking through Harlem, you could tell he was nervous. He was scared. What the fuck you scared for? He live in the Bronx though. I'm like, you in Harlem. Harlem, I think, is safer than the Bronx, but I think because there was so many black people, which said a lot about his ass and his own attitudes towards black people, because that shit gonna come up, right? Whatever you got inside of you, I gotta end this video, right? Because it's kind of going on a tangent. But it's like, whatever you got hidden inside of you, right? That shit is gonna come up. You can't hide that shit around me, alright? Because I will see through you. I see your soul. I see your spirit within you. I see everything that's hidden in you. I see it. You don't have to say it. I see it. And that shit is going to reveal itself. I promise you that. Right? Because I'm a very spiritual person. I'm telling you. You got to just see it. You got to, like, experience it to really know what I'm talking about. Like, be in front of me. You're like, okay, I see. Yeah. But don't run away. See, that's the thing I feel like when I come across a man. When I finally come across a man who holds his own, and it's just, that's why I like Dr. Umar, because like I feel like Dr. Umar is a perfect representation. And I say perfect for me, not saying that he's perfect, because of course he has his flaws. No one is perfect in that sense, but Like, he's fearless. You get what I'm saying? He's not afraid of no woman. He's not afraid of the system. He's not afraid of white people. He's not afraid to go in any neighborhood, right? Because he travels and he does lectures. He's all over the place. You know, he interacts with all different levels of black people, from the poorest of the poor to, you know, the bourgeoisie, right? So I like that. That's just something sexy about that, right? He's confident. He's educated. He's a go-getter. He's an entrepreneur. So that kind of man, you know, even if I don't date Dr. Umar, it's just like that kind of man would be the kind of man that I would fall for. Yeah. Given he's interested in me. So I'm going to end on that note. Danielle's disciples. Hell no. Nah. The Statue of Liberty. I think to get there, though, I have to take a boat, right? I never, like, been on the grounds of the Statue of Liberty. But riding on the Staten Island Ferry, you can ride by it. You can do that. It's been a while since I've been to Staten Island. The new Black Panther Party has ties with the NOI. I'm pretty sure they do. He acting like, oh, he moving in secret, and he was just moving funny to me. I'm just like, get that shit on. I thought that motherfucker probably was on coke too. I don't like men who do drugs. You know, you can have drinks here and there, but nah. What make you say that though? The new Black Panther Party has ties with NOI. So it's like, I ain't gonna say gangsters, right? Because that can be problematic. You so gangster that you run into problems with the law. In and out of jail, I don't think I could deal with that. I need your ass. If I'm like in love with a guy, I need you here with me, not in fucking jail, you know. But the mentality of like men who happen to fall in those cracks, end up in prison, like I kind of like that kind of mentality in a man, like just kind of anti-establishment. You got your own mind, like you are a man, you know, but still be able to navigate through this world in a legal way, like through this society in a legal way, and make money and survive, but still have that kind of mentality of like fuck the system kind of thing, just kind of like ruthless, lawless kind of attitude, but not necessarily acting upon, you know, everything that you think about the system necessarily to the point where you like it gets you locked up doing shit like that. I just like the energy. It's a certain kind of energy. I don't like scared energy in men. I don't. They don't mesh well with me, because I am going to dominate you, and that to me is unattractive. If I dominate a man, I've dated a guy like that. I've been in a relationship where I was like in control, taking like, not want to say taking a man's money, but I controlled the finances in a sense, right? His paycheck came to my account. We lived together, and it's just like, I don't know. I felt like I was his mom. He was a hardworking man. Don't get me wrong, right? But it's just like telling the motherfucker, just like that to me is a turnoff. Doing everything I say out of respect, but I think also out of fear too, and not just having confidence in himself and high self-esteem to be able to say no. And I think now he's learning that. I put his ass in timeout. Now his ass learning to assert himself, right? Which is good. You followed me to the promised land. Follow me right to hell. Now, there's no such thing as hell. We need evil, though. So it's good to tap into evil, right? The yin and the yang. But that's a whole nother video. Let's end this, and I'll catch y'all later. Love you guys. Asiatic.